Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is Mary Bush, and I am Stampin' in the Sand. Welcome to my Why'd I Buy That Wednesday video tutorial. Why'd I Buy That Wednesday came about when the last holiday catalog retired, and I was going through and pulling all of my retiring stamp sets and dies and designer series papers, etc., off of my shelves to move them to the retired section, and discovered how many of those stamps, dies, and designer series papers I had not even opened, touched, or used. So there's no feeling in the world like the feeling you get when your retiring products haven't even been touched yet. I can't even begin to tell you. It's just so depressing. So I started Why'd I Buy That Wednesdays as a way to get me to use the products that I was ordering in a more timely manner, show some love to some of the products I had already ordered that were already on my shelves that I hadn't used yet, and as a way to help you use the products that you have ordered and haven't used yet. So in the comments below, if you have one of those products sitting on your shelves or at your desk and you would like to see them used in a future video, please comment below. And if I have them on my shelves, I will be more than happy to pull them out and create some projects to inspire you with. But let's get started with today's project. So we are closing in on the end of January. Time is flying by. I just can't keep up. We thought with COVID and social restrictions that time was going to stop. I think it actually fast forwarded. So it's almost the end of January. We are almost halfway through Stampin' Up Sale-a-bration time period, which is January 5th to February 28th of 2021. So this is our current Sale-a-bration offering. If you're new to Stampin' Up and Sale-a-bration, Sale-a-bration is a time when you get additional rewards for ordering products that you were going to order anyway. So for example, we have a $50 and $100 tier within Sale-a-bration. So at the $50 tier, when your product order reaches $50 or more, for each incremental $50, you can choose one of our $50 level items. So this year we have the Paper Blooms Designer Series paper. We have the Darling Donkeys stamp set. Now this stamp set is currently on back order. You can still add it to your shopping cart. It just may ship separately than your order, but you will still get it once you submit your order. Even if it's on back order, it just automatically goes in the queue to be sent out to you as soon as it comes back in stock. So don't hesitate to ever order a back-ordered item. It just means you'll be one of the first to receive it once it becomes available again. So the Darling Donkeys, that's a stamp set that's available at the $50 level. We also have the Approaching Perfection birthday stamp set, the Oso Ombre Designer Series paper, which is gorgeous paper. Let's see, the Corner Bouquet stamp set is a $50 tier item. We also have the Heal Your Heart stamp set, which we're going to actually use today. We also have the Flower and Field Designer Series paper, which we're going to use today as well. That's this gorgeous paper here. We're going to crack open this brand new pack in just a minute. And at the $100 tier, so if you have an order of $100 or more, you can add the A Touch of Ink stamp set for free. It's one of our $100 tier items. Or the very popular Berry Blessing stamp set and Berry Delightful Designer Series paper combo. You can get both of those items for free when your order is $100 or more. So when you're placing those orders, I do have a host code that's currently open. So not only will your qualifying Sale-a-bration items Qualifying Sale-a-bration orders qualify you for free Sale-a-bration items. You will also get additional card tutorials and gifts from me directly via the mail. So as soon as I order them, I will mail them off to you, but you'll get a confirmation email from me and a thank you card from me for ordering through me, because I truly appreciate your business and your support. And I will be sending that out as soon as I see confirmation of your order. So just use the hostess code that I have posted down in the description below. You can also find that on my Facebook page and my blog. My blog is stampininthe.blogspot.com, and you can find me at Stampin' in the Sand on Facebook. So let's get started with our card. Today we're going to be using the Heal Your Heart stamp set. As I mentioned, this is a free Sale-a-bration set. We're going to be pairing it with this absolutely gorgeous Flower and Field Designer Series paper. And I apologize for the glare. I'm trying to work at my new craft station. And it's a kind of a cloudy, gloomy day out, so I had to add some additional lighting. So I hope the glare isn't too much for you guys. So this, like I said, is free with a $50 order. You can get a whole pack of this Designer Series paper for free. It has all these gorgeous hand-painted florals, and then on the back is a more neutral type of pattern. You get 2 sheets of each in 12 by 12, and they all will coordinate together. So we have daisies here with leaf patterns on the back, and then this one's more of a blue rose with just a nice green, almost looks like a tulip image on the back, and our scattering of flowers here with some stripes on the back. So again, you get a bold floral on one side and then more of a neutral background on the other side. And as with all of our papers, to make your crafting easier, all of the coordinating colors are listed on the back of the pack. So for example, Flower and Field Designer Series paper, it coordinates with Bumblebee, Cherry Cobbler, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Just Jade, Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, Pool Party, Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, Shaded Spruce, So Saffron, and Whisper White, and a lot of other colors in between. But at least you'll know that those are some great base colors for you to start with. So for today's card, I was able to coordinate all of my Designer Series paper prints with coordinating cardstock, and know that my cards were going to come out gorgeous and coordinate beautifully. So we are going to use this pattern today on our card, and we're going to pair it with the polka dot that is on the reverse of this bold wildflower field paper. So we're going to coordinate these two together. So I'm going to put that aside. I've already pre-cut all of my elements for you to save some time. So we have a, sorry, I dropped my stuff. We have a card base, and this is Bumblebee. It's cut 8.5 by 5.5. I scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of the polka dot pattern Designer Series paper. I've cut this down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, so I would leave just a smidge of an outline around the outside of the Designer Series paper. If you prefer a full Designer Series paper card front, you could just cut that to 4 1/4 by 5.5 and mount that directly to the front of your card, and it would look just as nice. I've also cut a piece of the more bold floral, and that is cut 3 1/4 by 4.5. And I'm going to be mounting it on some Cherry Cobbler. And this is cut, let's see, I didn't make my note on Cherry Cobbler. But if this is 3 1/4 by 4.5, then it's going to be 3 3/4 by 4.5, because I cut it 1/4 of an inch larger than my Designer Series paper. Now, we're going to get to the why did I buy that part, and it's comes down to the Butterfly Beauty Thinlits dies. Now these are in the annual catalog, and they actually carried over from the last catalog, I believe. You'll find them on your annual catalog on page 180, and it's right here, Butterfly Beauty, item 151819, $39. It does coordinate with the Beauty Abound stamp set, but you don't need the stamp set to create beautiful cards with the dies. And this all came about because someone shared a card with me using these butterfly dies, and I wanted to create it, but I thought, I don't have those dies, but I have other butterflies I can use. So I looked up in the catalog to see what the dimensions were on these butterflies, so I could find a butterfly that would coordinate with the size and scale that the woman had used on her card that she shared with me. And I looked in my catalog and it was highlighted. And I always highlight the items that I order when I order them so that I know that I have them, and it saves me from duplicating, but usually I know what I own. But I like to highlight it anyway because then I know what I own. So for example, if I want a case of card, I can look to my catalog and be sure whether I own that item or need to order it. So here it is highlighted, and I thought that shouldn't be highlighted. I do not own that stamp set. Why is that highlighted? So I went over to where I store my dies. Sure enough, I own it. Haven't used it, but I clearly remembered mounting these on my magnet sheets because I remember mounting all these little teeny tiny butterfly dies and wondering, why do we have so many teeny tiny butterfly dies? So I distinctly remember putting the dies on the magnet sheets, but then I forgot I owned it. So I thought, well, what better for a Why Did I Buy That Wednesday card project than dies I forgot I owned? So what I've done is I cut a piece of basic black and a piece of Pool Party to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is basically card front size. And that allowed me to die cut this big butterfly die in my 2 different colors. So I did the thicker butterflies, which are the base layer for the butterflies in basic black. And then I cut the more intricate layer for the top out of the Pool Party, and that was the one big piece. Then I cut away individual butterflies so that I could use them on my card, so that I could highlight my paper and have butterflies. So what that gave me was my intricate little layer in the Pool Party of these 2 butterflies, and then the basic black layers for these butterflies. And I wasn't going to put you through the torture of watching me cut those out and paper snip them apart. So as you can see, here's this one and there's that one. And we're going to layer those together. And we're going to put this card together. The next thing I have is for my sentiment. I have a strip of basic white cardstock cut 1/2 inch by 5. So don't throw away all those little 1/2 inch strips of your white from cutting down your card fronts and your layers, because they come in handy. And then I have a piece of Granny Apple Green, and this is cut at the same 1/2 inch, and it's 3 7/8 inches long. So that's going to be mounted with our sentiment. So let's get started putting our layers together, because after all that babble, this card is going to go together super, super fast. And what I love about it is it's not going to look like it went together super, super fast, because it's a really pretty card, and nobody is going to know how quick and easy it went together. And it's also one that you can stamp a big stack of fairly quickly because of how many butterflies. I'm just trying to get this on straight. And it's kind of hard when you're trying to keep it in the camera, but keep your head out of the camera. So that's pretty good. So what was I saying? Oh, so with you can put together a whole stack of these pretty quickly by cutting all of your designer series paper and cardstock layers at one time. And then you get all sorts of different butterflies out of that one die cut. So you could use the big butterfly, for example, on the card. I chose not to because this pattern is quite bold as it is. So I didn't feel like it needed a big bold butterfly. I don't know if I have one around here. I don't. I thought I had a little scrap around so I could show you, but you get the general idea, because if you look at this big butterfly in the middle, you can see how much space it actually takes up on the front of the card. So you don't have to have the big butterfly. You can use some of the little butterflies, or if you prefer, you can use maybe a less bold pattern on your designer series paper, and then you can, what am I trying to say? Use the big butterfly. But I digress. Okay, so now I'm just going to use some Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to attach this panel to the front of my card. That ought to do it. And I'm hoping I'm staying within camera. As I said, I'm using a brand new setup here. And I'm not real, I think I know where all of my boundaries are, but now which way do I want to put this? I gotta go this way because the stem is going that way. So I'm gonna eyeball that. I think it looks straight. You guys are probably going, no, it's crooked, and I'm going, and I can't tell. Okay, that looks pretty straight. So there's that. Then I'm gonna come in with my sentiment piece, and I already prepped my Stamparatus to do this. So like I said, I have a 1/2 inch piece of basic white, 1/2 by 5 inches. I've already set up my Stamparatus, and what I did is I stamped my greeting, because it's really kind of skinny and scripty, onto my mat, or my grid paper that comes with my Stamparatus. And then I was able to lay down my strip, so I was sure that the greeting was going to be straight and that it was going to be, now I'm getting sidetracked because do you see what I did? I stuck my finger on the stamp and it still was stained from doing my sample. So now I have cherry cobbler all over me and all over the strip that I put there. All right, well, good thing is my new setup allows me to have my chamois at my fingertips to clean my fingertips. Oh, and it's cherry cobbler. And y'all know, once you get cherry cobbler on you, it's hard to get it off. All right, so I'm just going to now lay this down, because I am not starting this video over, not when we've come this far. So I'm just gonna lay this down so that it's straight. Oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh well, usually it happens, things like that happen when I'm live, and I'm not even live. Okay, then I'm gonna take my cherry cobbler. I don't have to worry about sticking my fingers in it because I already stuck my fingers on the stamp. I forgot I didn't clean it before I started the video. Oh well. Okay, so then I just have to flip, and if everything goes well, it's going to be straight. And I don't think that's too bad. All right, so gently I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to put this away, and I'm going to hope that I don't transfer more cherry cobbler all over the place. Okay, So next I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it over. And I think I want a piece of scrap paper because that cherry cobbler may not be entirely dry. Okay, so sorry for your loss, and I need the bottom to go this way. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of Stampin' Seal, and I'm gonna run it along the bottom. And it doesn't really matter that I went off the edge a little bit because it's gonna fold back on itself. And I can just push it back there with my fingertips. Which, let me tell you, goes a lot easier when you can bend your face in there and really go after it. But I really don't want the top of my head to go into the video. All right, so now I'm gonna take my Granny Apple Green and I'm going to layer this on top. And I just eyeballed it. If I had grid paper or something, I'd measure it out using the grid paper. Let's see how well I did. Ew, I don't think I did too bad. I think that's fairly straight or fairly even. All right, so now I'm just going to, I guess I'll keep that there for a second. Flip that over and I'm going to put dimensionals on the back. For added security, I'm just going to put them on the corners. That one might have to shift. That one might be a little high. I want to lower that. Yep, we're going to get another one because that stuck to my finger and curled up. I think I want to go a little lower. There, that's a lot better. And then I'm just going to cut some of that edge from the dimensionals. And I'm going to run that along the top. And then this is going to go onto our card. And I'm going to try ever so hard not to get that cherry cobbler from my fingers on the card. Okay, so there's that part. Now we're going to come in with our butterflies. And I'm just going to use some liquid glue. And I'm going to put just a little bit underneath the body because I want the wings to kind of flutter. And actually, I wanted to cut the antenna off of these. I forgot. Do you think I can do it with the glue on there? Yeah, there. So it makes him look like he's got a little head. And then we'll just take the thicker layer and we'll mount that on top. Doesn't that look super cute with those little black antennas sticking up? And then this time we're going to remember to do it on this little guy. And we're going to add just a little bit of glue, and it has to be a little bit of glue because this guy is really skinny. So we're going to take him and we're going to attach him to this one like so. Put him aside. And I'm just going to use glue dots to attach them to the front of my card. All right, and then when we're finished this one, I'm going to show you how I finished the inside of the card, and then I'm going to show you a few variations that I've also created using this exact same card design or card layout so that you can see some different ideas for your own cards and using some of the other butterflies and even how you could create the same card without butterflies. Okay. I meant to use a glue dot for that, didn't I? I'm babbling away and using glue. Oh well. Maybe it won't matter. Except I got a little bit of ooze. I got a little bit of ooze, but that's okay. I'll tell you. Mary starts talking and she loses all track of what she's doing and uses glue instead of using glue dots. Oh well. All right. Next, we are going to add Wink Stella to our butterflies just to give them a little bit of extra pop. So I'm just going to try to paint it on the blue part. Okay, we're just going to paint the pool party. And it's going to go, because of the brush, I'll get a little bit on the black, which will be fine. It'll look okay, but I don't want to paint all the black. I just want to I want to keep it as much to just the pool party as I can. I mean, I want to add a little bling, but it is a sympathy card, so I don't want to add so much bling. Just a little touch. So I thought I'd just bling these up just a little bit. You can only get so precise with a brush, right? Okay, so that adds just enough, I think. So what do you think? Can you see that? Can you see the shimmer? I'm not sure what you can see and what you can't see, but there's the little bit of shimmer. So there's the front of the card. Now, if I did this right, somewhere there's an inside for the card. Where did I put it? This is not the one I wanted, but I guess it'll do. I thought I had done another one of these. All right, so for the inside of the card, I've just taken a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of basic white, and I wanted to add a little bit of something to the inside, but I didn't want to bling it out so much because it is a sympathy card, so there's only so much you want to do on the inside. So I thought adding a little bit of stitching would be nice, so I used the Stitched with Whimsy dies. Now these are new in our spring mini catalog. And I ordered them. They actually fall into why I order that Wednesday also, because I overlooked them at first. They're on page 72 of our new January to June mini catalog right here at the bottom. And they don't die cut. They only add a little bit of a stitched outline. And at first I overlooked them, but then I started seeing more and more projects coming out with them. And I really liked the little added element that they added to projects. So I decided to order them, but of course I hadn't used them. So I thought it added a nice little detail on the inside of my card without blinging, like I said, without blinging it up too much. And then from the same stamp set, I added the Wishing I Could Heal Your Heart. And on the back, I just added a little bit of that Stampin' Seal. And then I can fix it on the front of the inside, well, on the inside. So this stamp set, the Heal Your Heart stamp set, has the messages, "We're in this together. I can't promise to always fix your problems, but I can promise you won't ever face them alone. Sorry for your loss. I don't know what I would do without you. Thank you." So I guess thank you goes with I don't know what I would do without you. And then Wishing I Could Heal Your Heart for sorry for your loss. So that's what I've combined. I've combined the Heal Your Heart stamp set with the designer series paper. Both are, like I said, are available through our current Sale-a-bration offerings through the end of February for free with $50 orders. So this would be, you could get the designer series paper and the stamp set both for free with a $100 order. And then I just combined it with that beautiful butterflies and there you have our card. But as I promised, I've got more to show you. So the first card I had made was this one. It's exactly the same, as you can see. The only thing I did different on this one is I cut my rectangle. I like to add a stitched rectangle to the insides of my cards. So I did a stitched rectangle, and then I did that really nice stitching inlay within the stitched rectangle, and then added the wishing I could heal your heart. So that is our standard stitched rectangle dies. I used the largest one to cut my design, to cut my Whisper white paper. And then I took the second largest stitched with Whimsy die, and I laid it on the inside. And then with one pass through the Big Shot or through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you would get this effect. So you have your stitched panel and then your nice stitching inlay on the inside. Additionally, I also created this card. So it's the exact same card, exact same design, but I used a different butterfly. So from that die set, which I have since tossed somewhere. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, I put it under my Stampin' Scrub. So from here, this butterfly right here that I used is this guy right on the top of the wing here. So you actually get 5 butterflies out of one die cut. So I was able to use him. And then just to do something completely different, I made a card where I used the same designer series paper for the background, but instead I did a more tone on tone, and I used that bumblebee for my background, and I used the daisy designer series paper pattern from the same pack. I die cut punched rather. I punched the daisy from our punch that's in the annual catalog as well, and then I put a die cut leaf behind the daisy. I gave it a black center with just a hole punch, and it's a completely different card, but it's the same card. So hopefully that gives you lots and lots of ideas. If you're interested in creating these cards or getting these free products, the designer series paper and the stamp set, I have links for you below in the description of this video that will take you to my online store where you can make your purchases. I will link you to the butterfly dies. I will link you to the cardstocks that I used and the punch I used on the daisy. When your order, if your order is $50, you can choose between the designer series paper for free or the stamp set. If your order totals $100, you can get them both and for free. All right, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to post them below in the comments. And like I said at the beginning, if you have any products hanging around your own work table or your own craft room that you haven't used and you'd like some inspiration for, please post it below and suggest it. Maybe you'll see it featured in a Why'd I Buy That Wednesday. All right, thanks everybody, and happy stamping. Bye now.